SMCI has been in a very tight energy building phase over the last few months, and it does appear that today we have seen a breakout with this nice big wide bar signifying buying pressure with the volume to back it. With that being said, my name is Dylan from Dylan's Trades. We're going to get straight into this technical analysis price prediction, starting on the weekly analysis. On the weekly analysis, guys, we get a very simple image of what's going on. And this is why SMCI has a lot of eyeballs on it, especially a lot of long-term buyers, investors, traders, as we're getting a pretty good discount, man. I mean, we're seeing this very clear pocket of consolidation leading into this incredible price action movement. Notice that the minute we broke out of this pretty dry volume, getting that nice big uptick, if we take a vertical line to it, you see stock price immediately confirms over the top being this candle. We did move up from this same pattern we're trading in as of now, 303%, guys. So, it's very, very obvious why this is important. And in the past, we did the same thing. We had this other phase of consolidation, this one being more of a pennant-like structure with these lower highs and higher lows. Once we confirmed below these wicks, we knifed down, guys, from 78 bucks to as low as $19, guys. So whether way this confirms, it completely changes the trajectory, right? We're looking at $80, $90, $100, arguably up here, guys. There's not enough data to say that as of now, but we're looking at a very measurable, intense price action movement, especially being how volatile the stock price is, right? Or we're looking at a rejection and back down to at least, arguably, these $18, $19 levels, guys. So lucky enough for the buyers, first and foremost, we're back in this consolidation in this previous level, guys. When you get a retracement this hard, pulling all the way back down to this previous level, inherently there's just going to be more buyers. It just is, guys. And we're really seeing that on a micro perspective as well. Seeing a nice wide bar up, signifying a lot of strength, right? One candle can completely revert a trend, guys. It 100% can. And this is exactly what you want to see approaching near the top of that $48, the top of this range. Following 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 very nice weeks of tight energy like building, curling up, starting to crescendo up. Really looks bullish, guys. We want to see the break over $48 to open these gateways to these, very exciting price action levels, guys. But we're just seeing a lot of bullish divergence. Yes, we're still in a range, right? But seeing these higher lows crescendo up, this energy building like phase, we haven't had this type of look on this MCI ever since back here. So with that being said, keep an eye on the volume confirmation. If we see a big green wide bar, boom, pressing out of here with an intense amount of volume, I mean, it's lights out. It's lights out. It's really opening a lot of upper price action levels. So with that being said, we understand that we're close, very, very close to the top of this weekly range, which does open the floodgates for upper levels, influencing very, very bullishly, starting to crescendo up, appearing to get the breakout soon. On the daily analysis, guys, another data point that has coincided with today's current price action is this previous downtrend. This was from this other pocket of consolidation we mentioned on the weekly. All starting from this blow off top over here, we picked up some bids, leaving these obvious constraints of this weekly pennant-like structure, right? Which was phase 2 of this consolidation. This descending trend line, which doesn't often happen, completely picked up all the way moving down, stopping stock price very violently at these highs. Well, we had a beast of a run, guys. We had this very nice descending channel, right? Arguably a cup and handle, being that we have this knife down crescendo up, right? It really depends on the trader, but more or less we've seen the breakout, a very heavy, nice technical setup, setting stock price from these levels of 31 to 66 at a high with zero-ish at all before we wick out once, 2, and 3 times perfectly, completely reversed with the bearish engulfing and a wick on top, guys. So seeing that stock price picked up bids over here, guys. You notice how we get right to this moment and we get shot down, right? We're kind of confluencing under this level over the last few weeks, just getting really, really tight, guys. We momentarily got the break over. And this is what we mentioned in the last video on the screen candle with a wick on top. If we break over the top, we should see a breakout. And we actually started to see that, right? We got this nice hammer candle moving up, a slight uptick in volume down here. Everything looked good until overnight, bad news dropped. And it immediately flipped stock price down below this breakout level. And I'd be lying to you guys if I kept a close eye on SMCI. I'm like, damn, this is This is going to be big, guys. It 100% is when you get a harsh retracement after all the buyers are licking their chops, right? Being that the stakes are so high, centering back to the weekly analysis being over the top of the range. The best thing we could have seen, which is what I was watching, is these lows being defended. And what do we see? Immediate flip, guys. And that's been presented a couple times in SMCI. Once being over here as well, we started to dip down below in these dangerous territories. Buyers immediately flipped it up, guys. So to see that once again, guys, any sort of short sellers who have tried to step in on this position, guys, if they're not already liquidated within today's movement, they're very likely to be soon. And that's a very introspective, real technical analysis perspective and technique. Establish where short sellers are at. And they've really gotten jambled up, guys. I mean, just taking off these trend lines, we see these very heavy confluence around this rough level where they've been stepping in. It's really been a battle, a spring loading like phase with this harsh wide bar, very strong movement, breaking over the top, reconfirming after snapping down beneath momentarily. We've seen the confirmation, guys. I think it's safe to say that we're seeing the breakout right now, guys. And something very meaningful that my mentor taught me years ago is that one candlestick can completely revert a trend. It can completely destroy a consolidation, a downtrend for many reasons. We can get into a 20-minute video on that in lectures, but that's what we're seeing, guys. We're seeing this nice big wide bar, noting that this movement today, if we take that from the rough range of consolidation from these floors to these highs, this 1 day of price action was pretty much a range movement, guys. And we did see the uptick in volume, which is what we've been watching very, very carefully as we have seen within this consolidation and slowly descend, getting ready for the next big movement as we've been talking about. But we do believe we're seeing the official breakout level. So at least go and test $48. A very high probability we break out of that, guys. But keep this in mind. Not only is this the high, right, of this big gap up at this area, but that's the weekly range, guys. That's the top of the weekly range. So keep a very close eye on that $48 level, guys, as that is the level that not only in the daily is very, very important, guys, but especially on the more macro perspective. So in conclusion, guys, on the daily analysis, stock price looks very, very primed, more primed than we have been over the last month within this pocket of consolidation. On the hourly analysis, guys, we had a really nice bull flag setup, being that we had about a day and a half of price action, really building up in it though, just getting that extra cherry on the top, getting near all these big breakout levels, guys. I mean, there's a lot going on here, and we did claim over this level, and we're moving very, very strong. We did have a couple wick outs over here, but nothing too bad, nothing concerning at all, being we ended the day strong, retesting and bouncing from this resistance, trying to use it as support before ultimately gapping down from bad news. It doesn't matter what the technicals do, right? It matters once we gap down, but overnight, if bad news drops, of course we're going to move down. That's what we've seen. And once again, guys, the buyers didn't waste any time. It's really incredible. This is all we need to see at the hour, a quick squeeze up in price action. And it looks really, really nice, guys. We even had that 1 hour bounce off this support level, 2 hours coming down to this level, bouncing, using this big resistance as support and moving up higher. There's a really good chance, guys, that we do break over $48, and this is the official breakout. And, volume has been back in that, guys. Keep an eye on volume. If you see some very intense price action volume out of the sorts, out of the normal, right, we're starting to heat up. So keep this in mind. It could happen very, very soon. If we see a big movement in volume, guys, that would be the day when you see SMCI squeeze the flip to $2 in the day, and this full big macro next bull cycle starts. As a buyer, as a bull, as an investor, long, short term, I don't care what you are, anything over this breakout level 44.50 in this rough general region, guys, it looks nice. Stock price can, in theory, sit here and build up energy before another move up. I think it's more likely we just continue to squeeze up higher, even though we have seen these micro pullbacks after these big movements up, like in the past here, over here. I think we might break the trend, guys. We're seeing the volume confirmation, the false breakout, the squeeze moving up, inching closer on the weekly analysis, crescendoing up. I think all the signs look nice, guys. Keep an eye on the volume, keep an eye on $48. With that being said, guys, this is not financial advice, but this looks like a great position for the bulls to continue to hold your stock if you do own, or potentially a new buying opportunity, right? As we're inching towards a macro perspective shift in this last year of more or less building energy into a nice price action movement